Say hi.
I'm Mr. Moose. Okay, speaking of moose, are synonymous with the holidays, and we are going to talk about a little holiday bundle from Selkirk. Buy an SLK paddle, Adam, with 2 accessories, and for that bundle, you get 15% off. Talk about deals, talk about bundles, talk about holidays. Get your SLK paddle, get 2 accessories, get the discount, and let's go.
Yeah, 15%. I mean, that's a big deal, guys. Make it happen.
Make it happen.
I like accessories, so shouldn't be an
Adam,
issue for anyone.
You get a discount, but we're a premium company.
There it is.
There it is. Just like we're premium content creators, Adam.
Because you know why?
Why?
Because it feels right. It feels right.
Legendary.
Look how we made it this far. Haven't we made it, my love? Oh, honey, look how we made it this far. Hasn't the pace been a long bit, honey? Take a look at where we are. You, I owe it to you. I owe it to you.
Come on, big guy.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that fit.
So
fit.
what's his muffin?
Apple, banana, and carrot.
Apple, banana, and carrot muffin. Let's go, AJ. Let's go.
What a
boy.
What a silly thing for me to think that it was going to be chocolate chip. Of course it's
No, not when Prof's
you know,
involved.
fruits
She's
and
doing
veggies.
it big. That's right. And he's got his train jammies on, and I'll admit it, he smells faintly of urine, but that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna get through it, buddy. Right?
At least just faintly, it's fine.
Faintly, yeah, that's right. That's right. You know, that's part of it. Sometimes
like
you
that-
get a little saturated.
It's like that standing odor that's like a mix of like a little baby powder, a little like poop residue, a little like urine, nothing better.
Yeah, there will be some residue, or just like, in the vicinity of the porta potties of any professional pickleball tournament. Whatever. Same thing.
Little known story here is so Chase Hodges was my college tennis coach at Asheville. Mm-hmm. And after I graduated, I was up in New York. This is in 2008, by the way. So this is like a little ways back. Financial crisis. I was interviewing in New York City for a couple of different jobs. One was on Wall Street. I had no idea, like, even at the time, I was just super naive. I was like, well, I hear I'm from Georgia. I hear Wall Street all the time. Like, this seems like a sick thing to do. Like, this would be really cool just to like get a job here and see what happens. And so I interviewed on Wall Street. It was like, just fun experiences, like however old I was, 22-year-old, 23-year-old. And I ended up taking a job in 2008, had it for like 4 months. They fire everybody. And then Chase, I go to Iowa. He's coaching at Drake University in Des Moines. So he's like, hey, come be my assistant. So I go to Iowa, live with Chase because he's got this townhouse. He's going through a divorce and has a 1-year-old daughter, Gabby, and who Chase kept basically, they had 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off type deal at the time. So, when Gabby was there, it was me chasing a baby, me chasing a 1-year-old. So, we'd be like, I'd hold her right hand, he'd hold her left hand. We'd like go into IHOP, just like 2 minutes a baby. And it's super fun memories of like, yeah, it was fun. Like basically being a dad to a 1-year-old when I was 23.
I'd like to see that, to be honest with you. I mean, Rob, you really don't discriminate either. You live in Hawaii, you live in Ireland, you live in Iowa. Like you're all over the place.
I'm not all about the glamour. I'm willing to humble myself and live in Des Moines. I will say it was what people don't understand about Iowa and Des Moines. Not just that it's where Caitlin Clark hails from. That's just a little sidebar. But the summer after I was coaching Drake with Chase, I did as we did back then is like you get a summer job coaching tennis at a country club out there, yada, yada. And some of those days, and I grew up in Georgia outside of Atlanta, hot, humid, silly. And some of those days in the heat of Iowa summer were way worse than Georgia. I couldn't believe that it was that cold in Iowa in the winter and that hot in Iowa in the summer. It was absurd how hot it was. And what I learned recently is that it's because of corn sweat. Corn sweat, Adam. Did you know corn sweats?
Never heard. I've heard of meat sweats, but not corn sweats. I've had the meat sweats several times.
Yeah, a lot. I'm sure you get the meat sweats a lot. But corn, apparently that corn in the Midwest sweats, and when it does sweat, it creates a lot of humidity and heat, and just it's uncomfortable, Adam.
No, you learn something new every day. I would never have guessed it.
I'm here to educate. Yeah, and usually not about pickleball.
that is usually true. That is usually true. Absolutely. Robert, are you in Arizona? Are you playing a tournament down yonder?
I'm down yonder. I'm in beautiful Mesa, Arizona. It's I'm got in late last night. It's 6-something a.m. right now. I didn't really sleep very well. It's a comfy bed, so I should have, I look forward to getting back into it after we're done here. And but hey, as you've done, this is nowhere near the dedication I've seen out of you, Adam, where you've driven from the beach to your home to do a podcast. So
thank you for
but I will say I brought this mic.
Good
travel mic.
That's good travel prep for the pod. And what's that place called now? I know it's like switched hands 3 times.
Yeah. So it used to be Bellbank Legacy.
Bellbank Park, yeah.
I think, right? That sounds right. I always mix that up with Belknap, but I think that's Grand Rapids, right?
It is.
Okay. Yeah, so Bellbank, and so I think it went through bankruptcy. And then at one point I heard that, and this is something that we haven't really heard of lately, but it was a big thing at the time was, do you remember Pickle Mall? Mall?
I do. I don't know much about it, but I remember hearing about it several times.
Yeah, so that was a project started by Steve Kuhn. I talked to I believe the CEO that he hired was West Shaw, and they were basically, the premise was they were going to have it be a very automated business where, not really staffed. It's fully you buy the time, you have a code, you go in, lights are on, that kind of thing. And they were going to do that across I think, similar to the Belks that have closed down and stuff like that, places like that. But there was a pickle mall in Phoenix that I believe shut down. I saw this article a while back, and they moved. Well, I don't think they moved, but the ownership of that went into what is now, I believe, the Arizona Athletic Grounds. I'm not sure if that's the last bit of information there, but yeah, I know Bellbank went through bankruptcy and then it got reorged into Arizona Athletic Grounds, AAG. So Nationals is here. We have Adam. You probably didn't even realize this. This is a weird time because you have PPA doing Worlds, USA Pickleball doing Nationals still. This is my first ever Nationals. First ever.
That is interesting.
I started playing tournaments in 2020, 2024. Didn't play in any of those years. I wish I would have played Indian Wells just for the, that always is what you look at as kind of, especially coming into the sport back then. It's that's kind of the gold standard, right? It always looked so dope, with the big stands, and they were, crowded, and you never really hear a bad word said about that tournament being held at Indian Wells.
Dude, Indian Wells is money. It's amazing. And the thing is, the side courts were sunken in, and there was multiple rows. So you're the fans are right on top of you. And I think that was one of the coolest aspects of it, just from a vibe standpoint. Facility was top notch. And Rob, one of my favorite things in the world is going into a restroom and having 40 stalls to choose from. Now that is fantastic. I like that a lot. You don't quite get that anymore.
You know what? And this isn't even a beat set. It's what does like complement that is having 40 stalls, but is having each one of those being fully encased, meaning it has you know, you can't see under, you can't see over, like it's your own little poo pod.
It's something special.
Yeah.
Poo pod.
It's your own,
I like it.
It's your own little poo pod. You have no really distractions. You don't have to really like dial back the noise. You could just you can just like be yourself in there, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm with it, man. There's something special about it. And you know, I talked about the crowds and the vibes and lots of great things about the facility. That might be number one for me is the poo pods. So
yeah, poo pods are important.
It is. They absolutely are. So are you competing today?
Oh, no, not today. That would be really ambitious if I try to do that. Late night arrival, early morning pod. Let's just go straight out into court. Screw it, you know.
Let's play. Let's just. Hey, and what is the situation? I know like Arizona does not do daylight savings or something. So are you 2 or 3 hours behind East Coast right now?
This was confusing. Like when I set my watch, I went 3 hours back, and then I was like, okay, this is. I even woke up I set my alarm at 5:15 because I was assuming that was 8:15 Eastern. But no,
so you got
only
a bonus
2 hours
hour
back right now.
Yeah,
if I could have fallen back asleep, but I got a bonus hour to like just like you know, question life and all that. Just lay in bed and just wonder like, you know,
life
what's
ponder.
happened.
It's a great thing. People should do it, but just ponder life. I mean, you need to do that sometimes. You really do.
You have to. You have to.
I mean, you have to. You really do.
So, what's today? Today Wednesday or Thursday?
Tuesday. Wednesday.
It's Tuesday.
It's Wednesday. No, it is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. Yeah, I'm going to Milwaukee today.
Okay, today, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.
You know, Josh confirmed, guys. Like breaking news. It is Wednesday.
What would we do without him? That is for dang sure.
I mean, he is our ultimate fact checker, and he came through clutch. So you're going to Milwaukee today. You got the PPA this weekend. We've got nationals here in Arizona. You have when is MLP? Is it the week after?
Yeah, it's the week. So I'm going straight from Milwaukee this upcoming Monday to Orlando. Yeah, and we have a couple the Hard Eights have a couple practices set up with some premier teams, and then we're gonna do our thing and try to get a title. So
sweet.
Yeah, the Milwaukee tournament is there's some pretty big implications for the race. Meaning the top 8 singles and the top 8 doubles as well. So, for gender, top 16. So, the field is thin from the top players. So quite a few are sitting this one out, but there's some cool storylines for the middling players and the players trying to sneak into the race. And this is the last chance to accumulate points. So that's pretty cool.
What is like the vibe on that? Do players care about getting in there, or like are they getting? Because like when I had talked to some players, it was like an extra event that they didn't know what the purse situation was. Is there bonus money? Because
there is. I'm not sure what it is.
Got it.
I probably should. Well, but yeah, and I mean I think that there's at least a little bit of prestige, and now this is the first year, so I think probably that will build moving forward. That you got into the CiBC finals, and there is a little extra purse, but since it's the first time, you know, maybe there's less than what could be in the future in terms of, you know, allure of the event.
Yeah, I mean, I like the premise of it for sure. Mm-hmm. It's similar to. You know, if we're going to do the tennis thing, we might as well really model the tennis thing. So, you know, you got the final 8, which I believe, have they finished that already for ATP? I believe, I don't.
Oh, that's, what is it?
The ATP Nitto finals. They might just be doing Paris right now. Maybe they haven't done the final
top 8,
but yeah. I don't know if you know this, but I haven't checked a bag since probably 2005. So I'm going on 20 years of no check bags. I only carry on. And what's made that really easy for me over the past couple years are Selkirk backpacks. Because little do people know, you get a personal item to carry on most carriers. And both items are big backpacks. I carry them on. I fill both of them to the brim, and they both count as carry-on. So I don't have to check a bag. It's important.
No, I'm right there with you. And see that's the big boy. And I am past my playing days. So I do one big boy and one little smaller fella here that I can take with me from the hotel to the venue every single day. Leave the big boy there. Don't check bags. Get yourself some Selkirk gear. Small, medium, big. You need it.
I don't have the small. I need the small. Somebody send me the small. Big, yeah, you're right, because
small.
I could put my little laptop and I don't have to take the big one. It's important. Selkirk, send me a small. I'll buy it.
What I like about creating the allure of that Final Eight is like it's some of the American tennis guys' biggest moments, right? It's like, you know, when we're growing up, Adam, or kind of post the Sampras, Roddick era, you know, you've got the Jack Sock guys, you have Marty Fish, guys that got into the top 10, and like some of the biggest moments and highlights of their career is getting to the Final Eight, right? Because how hard is that in in the era that they played in? So I think creating that kind of like I think that'll take less time to create prestige around than like the major, like creating a major. You know what I mean? That's hard to create, like to kind of like fabricate and create like history and prestige based around a major, unless it has like a Wimbledon vibe or something like that has many years behind it. I think the Final Eight can be something where it's like, yeah, it's a moment of pride for players getting there.
Yeah, no, and I think that there's some major talent right around rank 10 in both men's and women's too. So to have that little battle to sneak in there is something that's prestigious. And we talked about it quite a bit at the Worlds, is especially with the double points for 2000 for that event, there was some serious ramifications of like a round of 32 or 16 matchup where a player was playing a player, or somebody needed help from someone else to beat someone so that they could move forward. And I mean, we're talking 20 to 25 hours a weekend plus about the same stuff. So having an extra storyline or something else to talk about is pretty good when it's the same players doing the same thing, same patterns, same matches. So I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be just a matter of what happened this tournament. Okay, on to the next tournament. That tournament's done. But like having the tournaments have like carryover, implications of future events is important.
No, I like it. So always tinkering. It'll be perfect one day. That day won't be today or tomorrow, but I like the tinker. So I'm deep in the Twitter streets here, Rob. And man, this Eric Tice guy is going hard. He's going hard, dude. He is putting out some stuff detailed.
He's got
he's
got time.
Quick.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah.
And I see your boy Eric Lang here. He says he's got USA Nationals straight to MLP Orlando, then 45 days off before PWR India. So that's his schedule.
Like a nice break.
Yeah, 45 days. Yeah, that's pretty serious. So
that's not
and yours.
That's not what I'm
yours
doing.
is going to be something similar to that. Is that correct? Or you don't know about the PWR stuff yet?
I'm gonna take a little international trip. I'm actually gonna go to Munich with Selkirk for ISPO show. It's like a big sports exhibition conference. So just displaying pickleball. Going to do some exhibition stuff, and then I'm going to go from there to Vietnam for a PWR tournament there. I figured, why not? Why not, Adam? I've been to Thailand. I've been to a bunch of places in Asia, China, Japan. Haven't been to Vietnam, so why not go to Vietnam, play a little pickle? So
sounds
go do that.
Good to me.
So it's a PWR event. Grab a few points. I'm playing with Ryler de Goggins, with pickleball's hardest man. And I mean that mentally and physically. His body's impeccable. He's got a chiseled frame, not so dissimilar to you, Adam. and he's got a chiseled mindset too, where nothing. He's unflappable. He's unflappable. Yeah.
So I think he might have. If you
haven't watched any of his content, Adam, he will motivate you. You'll want to run through a brick wall, and that's Riley Goggins.
Is this like Shet Subaru?
No, it's Ryler. It's full Ryler to heart. It's full Ryler to heart, but kind of like in a David Goggins-esque like.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like that's the intense guy.
He's serious, but not. Yeah, he's serious, but not.
I gotcha.
Like he is doing the stuff, but he's also saying it just because he understands that what we're doing is hitting a wiffle ball, and he used to he played Nadal on, Arthur Ashe, and now we're hitting a wiffle ball. So
I have seen one of his clips where he has like the pickleball fanny pack, and he's just pulling balls out and fire them at Megan and whatever else. So let's go.
Yeah, it's good fun. His watch out for the kids. JR and Lily are going to be monsters.
Oh, I'm sure. Just they're live it, breathe it, all of it, and all the touches. The technique was good from the very beginning, so I can only imagine as they start filling out a little bit and getting stronger. So I'm sure they're going to be studs.
And what a cool, they're getting to go to all these international places too. Like what a cool childhood to see all these different places and play pickleball.
Oh, absolutely.
So good.
Yeah, I agree. I want to bring the little tyke around to some of these events too. So but that's just full on RV style, like at all the stops, like they're just being babysat by the pickleball community and just playing all day. That's good times. If I was a kid, whatever they are, 8, 10, something like that.
Yeah.
That's the dream right there.
You're running around, hopping on courts, hitting balls, playing in the events. Like they're playing in the events.
Collecting medals, all kinds of stuff. Hey, Robert, 11-4, 11-8, 11-6. That is the score line of the girlies, Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher, this past weekend at Worlds. I can see them winning, but to win like that is pretty wild. And it just absolutely has to be the story of the tournament. Were you able to watch any of that? And if you were or were not, what are your thoughts on that scoreline?
Yeah, it's not surprising to me. I saw that coming into the tournament. I really predicted this.
Toot that horn.
No, I didn't predict it, but very surprising. They've gotten some W's. This is what their third of the year against AL and Catherine.
Yeah, so who knows? If I had to guess, I would say like 2-8 or 2-10 or something.
You don't
there.
expect to win. Yeah, but you don't expect a straight game. Not very close games, really.
No,
you don't expect that.
No, I agree completely. So, I did not see it as I was not working Championship Sunday for the event, but I actually went to the venue as I had some time, and they kicked me out of the hotel and I had to wait for my flight. And that thing was over quickly. So, congratulations. And I have to imagine that, they just play. They play a clean midcourt game. They get pushed off the line. They seem to get back in, Rachel and Anna, and they have the raw power and spin to do a little damage. I would guess from a comment or two that I heard that they were doing some damage on Catherine, and there was a little bit of AL dub overextension, and that is really the only knock.
Time.
It's the only knock. Yeah, it really is. It's really the only knock on really that you can possibly make against Annalie Waters is that she's just not that big. So if she needs to do more footwork, athleticism, amazing, on point, but you can only do so much if you don't have the wingspan. So
and she plays pretty close. She plays pretty close to her body. Meaning there's not big extension away from the body, so it's even more steps.
Kind of like Georgia. Yeah, there you go. They kind of have that tuck. It's much even more extreme for Georgia. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is. But you don't have that big extension, so you have to really move.
Right. And no, I'm with you. And some really nice stuff as we're just going to stick here in the women's draw for Worlds is Tyra Black and Elise Jones seem to just pair perfectly together. I mean, they had a massive win over Etta Wright and Megan Dezant, and then pushed Anna Bright and Rachel Rohrabacher to the limit in the semifinals. And I just like to see that, just, because that was a bit of my role back in the day, is just that full-on alpha with a complete supporting player. You have Annalie and Catherine and Rachel and Anna who play seamlessly, mix sides, all of that stuff. Or I guess Annalie and Catherine are a little bit constructed in that vein. But just to see Elise ball making, to see Tyra kind of have free reign to go crazy, have the power, have the athleticism. I'm not going to lie. I just didn't expect them to have some of the results that they've had the last couple tournaments, and they were able to capture a bronze medal in this one. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great result. Do you think that? Well, so the result of the tournament, you said Anna and Rachel beating them straight games. Yes, very surprising, but they've done it before. What we haven't seen before, Adam, is a Michael Lloyd just run through the singles draw like he did.
Yeah, so I agree. I mean, it was back to back to back. So we're talking Ben Johns, J.W. Johnson, Quang Duong, who the previous day absolutely dismantled Tyson McGuffin indoors. So I mean, that's three studs right there. And JW doesn't always play singles, but when he does, he still has fantastic results. So Michael Loyd was extremely impressive. The kitchen coverage, his volleys were fantastic on both forehand and backhand side. He is very athletic, has a phenomenal first step, and he has tons of power and spin from the back of the court. So and it was just kind of I was able to see him with the Frisco Pandas quite a bit in Major League Pickleball, and it was talent, skill there, just to put it all together situation. And he certainly did that this tournament. Can he continue to do that? He had the tools, and it was the inconsistencies or maybe some decision making that cost him in some previous big moments in tournament play. That was not an issue for him in this one.
Yeah, I mean, to roll through in straight games, and most of those is pretty telling too, right? Because you get that first game, it's easy to tighten up in the second and miss a couple balls, and it go to three, and then you're like, oh man, maybe I don't deserve to win this match. It's easy to have those thoughts come in, but he did a great job closing those second games out, which is really tough.
Yes.
So yeah, and I watched a couple of them, and what I will say is he was crushing some serves.
Crushing.
Some serves.
I agree. Against Quang, I think it was even in terms of forced return errors, and I mean, absolutely massive. And it just it's just a total ripple effect in singles.
Just to get a 2-3 missed returns in a game is so big, and it's such a knock to your opponent's mental game too. They're like, man, I'm just giving away points like this. The serve's ridiculous. I can't keep the return deep. So if you're hitting him like that, he's going to be tough to beat.
No, I agree. And I mean, those three matches were 6 games. So it was 2 each time. 1 or 2 close games sprinkled into those 6, but a pretty dominant effort from Michael Loyd. And just loved his interviews, loved his demeanor and his vibe, just how he was talking about, not taking anything from granted and this and that. I'm a big fan. I like the guy, and I hope that he, continues to have success out there, because he's cool.
I would say a big piece of it is, and this came across very much so while he was playing, like he easily wanted it more than anybody else. Easily.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And I think his celebrations after he won were, very tasteful, but like that was real. That was real emotion and just real joy. And I think that's fair to say. I think, he's, doesn't play all of the PPAs, and, couple of those guys he played had been grinding all year, and sure, of course they wanted to win. I'm not saying there was any form of tank job, but that was real hunger for Michael Loyd, and I agree with you completely.
Well, I think it's a on salary, off salary type deal, right? I don't think Lloyd's getting a salary or getting. I think he's probably got free entries, but he's got to earn his way, and I think
sure,
playing guys that have the guaranteed money. It's just human nature. It's human nature. Like that person that wants it more is going to come up with it. So big props to him because he's earning his way on.
Yeah, no, I love it. I like to see the fresh faces and the mix up and yeah, I mean, you pair that hunger with a real skill set, and this is the kind of run that can happen for a player. So, yeah, fantastic for him. And, it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. I like the fresh blood. I'm doing this, every other weekend. It seems like to have runs like that. I mean, it literally gets me more energized, and it helps me call a better match and things of that when you see stories like this. And that's sport, man. That's what sports is, and it's very special.
Totally agree. In men's, we had the resurgence of Riley Newman getting carried by little Hayden.
That's exactly right. So we had a left side weak side and a right side strong side with Riley playing the left and Hayden playing the right. And I agree, man. So youth is served out there right now. Great run from CJ Kingler and Quang Duong as well. So yeah, Riley Newman. I mean, they were done. They were down like 8-2 or 8-3 in game 2 against Dylan Frazier and JW Johnson, who have a looming breakup coming for 2025. And who knows if that leaked over, but they have been dipping a bit these last handful of tournaments. They actually snuck through the previous 2 rounds, 12-10 in the third to both. I believe one was Rafa Hewitt and Hunter Johnson, and then Casey Diamond and Max Freeman. So, they're still studs. I love those guys, but something is going on the last 5 to 7 tournaments with those two, where they just haven't been as dominant as they were earlier in the year. So,
I think comeback. It's just thinking about it, Adam, on that point is, their game's built on like the John's game, right? It's not built on, like a Quang Duong or like people playing aggressive and having very aggressive dinks and topspin and weapons and offense. And I think it's going to be very tough for those traditional teams unless they really start developing more aggressive stuff to see the podiums at the end of these tournaments.
Yeah, you're like leaving it up to the other team a bit too much. I mean, I love the style. I love the electric hand speed and the consistent dinking. But actually, the consistent dinking is one of the issues in that partnership because JW has been struggling on the backhand side. So I did not see the end of the match, but I heard it was a lot of dead dinks over to JW, who was either missing or leaving one high. But I agree. You have to get in there and take it a little bit. So if you were always playing that passive style, which has been successful for a lot of teams, and your opponents are playing 8 out of 10 or better, you could be in some trouble. So I think having that ability to do a bit of both and not just fully sitting back is probably preferred. So especially as we're seeing more and more, hot paddles and talented players kind of come into their own. So, so go ahead.
Where's that partnership going? What's happening? Who are they breaking off to?
I believe that they are breaking up, and I think I know Gabe Tardio is on some of this is secondhand. I believe Gabe Tardio is on a 1-year contract, so he's trying to get his off-court stuff situated to possibly play with JW Johnson, as they're homies. They're good buddies, always have been. Not sure about Dylan. I think that he might have a mix, a couple, kind of that ripple effect of a partnership breaking up, kind of like Pablo and Federico or whatever. So not positive on Dylan. And I think that there is a decent amount of Hayden Federico next year. But once again, this is not directly from the horse's mouth. This is, kind of some buzz around the players. So I think that's where it sits right now. But I do know that CJ Kingler and Quang Duong are going to play some together next year, and I think that is fantastic. Tons of age-related upside and incredible attacks and put-away power for Duong. I do still think the hand speed is a bit slower, and the variety is a notch below, but that's exactly what CJ Kingler does. He has insane defensive hands. He lacks some raw power, but he manipulates the ball. He holds the ball on his paddle. He's starting to get that lefty flick going, and his all-around game is amazing. So those two, if you're looking for a yin and a yang, like that is like a perfect situation for their styles. So, I mean, CJ's going to fill out. Quang is going to get more comfortable with the feel and the touch. Who knows exactly how much both of those things will happen, but if they happen a little bit, that is not a team you want to play.
When you said CJ's going to fill out, I'm just like in my head, I'm just like picturing like a Hulk CJ at his frame, just here to play pickle.
Yeah, like
that's funny. That's a funny visualization.
Amazon man, like Austin Chikatilo, like that guy. Like if that's just
CJ in that body.
Right. So like even if he doesn't get a lot broader, you get a little old man strength as you age, just in the wrist and the forearm and all of that stuff, which can only be a positive for CJ, who as I mentioned already has like the soft stuff dialed. So I love it. There's a lot of fun stuff going on, and more parity as they, speaking of score lines, absolutely dismantled the Johns brothers 11-1 and 11-6, and it was never even remotely close. So,
couple great bags by CJ too.
And Quang went, God, yes, and like pure disgust and just like almost a chuckle from Ben, like, oh, we're going Adam's apple style. You enter the tournament, you don't like getting hit high and hard, wear some eye protection, and let's move forward because this is part of the deal. And CJ had a bag to end it all on the poach, inside out into CJ's body, Colin Johns into his body. So fun times. I mean, it's new, it's fresh. Stuff. It's new and it's fresh, and that's what we need. Old guard gets to win sometimes. New players with their special skill sets. Come on, baby, let's go.
CJ's old guard, believe it or not, even though he's so young.
Oh, I know. I remember. I mean, he's been playing like near a decade. So he's a straight up pickleball player. And this is what we have. Like there's a lot of that going on. Where it's the only sport you're coming from is the variety of sports you play when you're like under 10. It's not like
that's it.
You played that sport through your teenage years and then you transitioned, and that's fun.
That's the future.
It is the future. Let's take a little look-see here. Oh, Annalie destroyed everyone in singles. We'll move past women's singles.
Yeah.
I mean, she's nuts. And it looked as good as it ever has on the singles court as well for her.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, she's susceptible to losses when there's somebody else on her side of the net that can mess it up for her. But outside of that, she's not going to lose.
Yeah, basically. I mean, just some of these ground strokes were just freaking shotguns, dude. Like like the consistency of her depth and power on her groundies. It's gross. Let's see, mixed. New partnership with QD and Anna Bright, had a decent little run and then got absolutely dismantled by the 1 seeds in the semifinals. Let's see, Fed and Rachel Rohrabacher, nice win over the Johnson siblings. And then Etta Wright and Christian Alshon, they're doing it. MLP teammates, Etta playing a solid right, getting some backhand flicks in there and some forehand power, and then just crazy athletic Christian Alshon, fun team. They did not fare particularly well in the gold medal match, but a phenomenal run nonetheless. Got a little bit worse for them each game, 11-9, 11-5, 11-2. So, battle in the bronze medal match for Rohrabacher and Fed Stackshard. And speaking of that final score lines, those were big points for Rachel Rohrabacher, who was kind of hovering around that 9 or 10 spot, and getting 1,200 points for the slam is pretty juicy for her. So, fun tournament. Yeah, fun tournament, and on to the next one, Rob.
Any what needs to happen for some of these players on the bubble in Milwaukee? Do you have that in front of you, or like who's close to getting in but not in?
I can look it up real fast.
And is it a matter of like, let's you said it's kind of thin at the top. Let's say somebody that's taken this week off because they've already hit their allotted number of tournaments to play this year is in the 8th spot, and somebody else is going, they're like, 9, 10, and they have the opportunity to leapfrog that person. Can that person be leapfrogged even though they kind of finished their schedule at the number 8 spot?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's actually a couple people like in the 8 that aren't playing. Like there's a ton of people not playing. Like, of course, Annalie, Catherine, whatever, they're in, but like there's like some Tyson McGuffin in mixed situation. I believe he is not playing this tournament. A couple other situations like that. I do not have the graphic.
Could be leapfrog though.
Right, could be leapfrog, and we have a very unfortunate Thomas Wilson situation who is not going to be able to compete, and he is way in there in mixed doubles and kind of hovering around that cut line in men's as well. So that'll be somebody's going to slide in to cover his spot. So wish you well, buddy. But yeah, I think people had decided their schedule a bit before, some of these point situations are playing out. And so I was surprised to see a couple of people sitting out that really have a great shot to squeeze into that top 8.
Yeah.
But, schedule, and, Milwaukee indoor, next to last event or next to last event of the year. Long year, man.
Daytona.
Right.
And then the finals?
And the finals, right. So actually, I think Daytona is after the finals, right before Christmas. So long year, no real breaks. So there's a couple people are like, screw the points. I'm sitting this one out and going to take a couple weeks. So I can't really blame them for that at all.
No, that's what December's for, right? So it's do the Eric Lang 45 day.
Right. Yeah, family time.
45-day cleanse.
Yeah, we'll just give a little shout out to the hard day it's about to compete here in Orlando, and
get it done.
Rick Chan taking the whole squad to the Steve Aoki concert in Vegas this last weekend and getting the whole VIP treatment. I mean, best damn owners in the game. I was not able to make it, unfortunately, but I got some video clips. Just looked fantastic.
That sounds like a lot of people. The VIP aspect sounds nice because less people.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of people.
Yeah, sparklers and cakes, throwing cakes at people, Steve Aoki style. I'm sure, if one person had COVID, they all do. One of those situations. So,
yeah.
But what you gonna do? Pretty cool gesture from Ricky Chan.
The best.
All right. That's my recap of the week's events. We did it.
We did it for this week. Yeah.
Well, I hope your couple cups of coffee don't hinder you from getting another hour or two of sleep, Robert.
I'm just gonna take a little lay down and see what happens. Maybe my eyes closed. Maybe they just are wide awake, just blinking.
Yeah, who knows? And if you do not sleep, at least you can ponder life, which is necessary.
Yeah, because I need to do that more. I need to really just sit with my feels, as the kids say.
Yeah, ponder and pontificate. How about that?
Pontificate. Okay, I'm in. Hey, got a couple new paddles arriving today, which I'm pretty excited about. Okay. The 008 is coming to my doorstep here in Mesa. 13 millimeter, I believe, which is it's a raw carbon fiber. I hit with it a bit when I was in Coeur d'Alene, and it feels nice. It feels really good. I think it's going to be. Okay, you gotta watch AJ. Come on, AJ.
Yeah, I actually do. Hey, buddy boy, you come on over here, AJ. He's back. Yep. Keep going.
Join the party.
AJ, that's Robert.
Yeah, so 008 is going to be sick. And I'm also 008, I think, is approved to play with. So maybe I'll play with it this week. I don't know. Probably not. But there's also a boomstick coming to my door, which is probably my favorite paddle that I tested when I was up there. So Rob, I'm just going to leave it there. A little tease.
Yeah, the 007 just came out. We already have an 008 and a boomstick. Just pow.
Hey, look. Selkirk's pushing the limits. They're in the lab. They're tinkering.
Tinkering. I like to tinker. So that is good for Selkirk. That is big time. I didn't even know about the boomstick. I don't even know what that is, man. Sounds great.
You don't need to know. Just know that a boomstick is coming. Just know that a boomstick is coming, Adam.